Hello there guys! For today's video, I'm going to show you how to adjust skin saturation in Photoshop. And also we will dive deeper into two methods on how to adjust the skin saturation, making use of a quick selection tool, applying hue and saturation, and using color balance. So let's get started! So here in our document, we got here an image where you will notice this image has a low saturation. So our goal here is to adjust that to look more lively. So the first method that we're going to do here is we're going to make use of the hue and saturation. But before we do that, let's create first a selection on this woman's skin with the use of the quick selection tool. So selected on our background layer, I'm going to the toolbar and go to the fourth tool, this one, right click on it and select on quick selection tool. Now we may now start clicking and dragging for creating a selection on the woman's skin. To deselect some, now just hold out and then click and drag to deselect that you don't want to. Now once we're done with our selection, now I'm going to the layers panel and go at the bottom, click on the adjustment layer, and then select on hue and saturation. Okay, now we're going to adjust the properties. So this is the basic method to adjust the skin saturation. So let's go to saturation and we're just going to increase that to give more color on our image. So I'm going to give it to 45. All right, now look at that. Let me show you the before and that's the after. All right, so that is the first method on how to adjust skin saturation. And by the way, if you find this video helpful so far, please consider subscribing to help YouTube algorithm show my videos to other nerds like us. Well, going back, now I'm going to delete this layer first because I'm going to show you the second method on how to adjust skin saturation. So, again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use the quick selection tool and create a selection on the woman's face once again. And now we're good. Now the next step here, now after we already created this selection here, now I'm going to click on the adjustment layer once again and then select on color balance. And now for the properties, you will see here where we can balance the cyan, the magenta, the yellow, and their opposite on the right side. So also we can also adjust if we're going to adjust the midtones, the shadows, or the highlights. Okay, but first let's go to midtones. All right, so first I'm going to adjust the cyan to around 23. Yes, and there you go. Now the image looks reddish. Okay, and for the magenta, I'm going to add to around 10 as well. You can just play around with the slider for the best result. For the yellow, maybe I'm gonna 6 is fine. And the next one, we're going to adjust the shadows. Click on that. So you just have to click this one, undertone. Click on shadows. And here, let's see. And for the last one, for the highlights. Okay, now you can see the differences now. So this one is the before and this one is the after, right? Okay. But still there are parts that we still have to fix on. So to do that, I'm going to click on the thumbnail here and then go to brush tool and make sure the foreground color is black to remove those excess. So there you go. Now that's more alive, but for me, the lips is still low in saturation, so I'm gonna increase that. So to do that, let's create another selection on the lips with the use of a quick selection tool. Yes, let's go here, click on that, and then create a mask. Okay, now step here, I'm going to the adjustment layer, click on that, and then select hue and saturation. So I want to make the lips red, so I'm going to increase the saturation of the lips. Okay, so look at that. All right, now that looks better. Now this image is more alive. So now I'm going to show you the before and after. So this one is the before and that is the after. And that's the two method on how to adjust skin saturation in Photoshop.